5. So this is Unit 7, Section 3. You want number 3?
Yeah, let's do number 3.
Okay. So the key with adding and subtracting, you can only add or subtract if you have the same exact prison. So for example, 2 root 2 can be added to 3 root 2 because root 2 and root 2 are the same. And so that makes 5 root 2's. Okay? If I had a 4 root 5 and a 7 root 2, you can't put those together because these prisons are not the same and so they can't go together. Okay, so that's the key, is to look for the same exact. So think of it as combining like terms. Only x's can go with x's, only y's can go with y's. X squares and x's are not the same, so they have to be exactly the same. All right, so number 3, here's how I do number 3 if I was doing it, which I actually am, so I don't know why I just said that. So number 3 is 3 root 27 plus 2 root 24 plus 2 root 24.
So these are multi-step equations, right?
These are multi-step radical expressions. Because there's no equal sign, it's not an equation, it's expression. So we're not really getting an answer, we're simplifying as much as possible. Okay? All right, so you might notice right away that we have 2 that are exactly the same. And you might not. But I notice right away that I have 2 root 24s here. I have a 2 root 24 plus another 2 root 24. So how many of those do we have? We add up the front numbers. So we have 2 plus 2. We have 4 root 24. Okay? And then we have a 3 root 27. If you leave it like this, it's like giving me the answer of 2/4 as an answer. 2/4 is a correct answer, but it's not simplified all the way. You would want to give me 1/2. So we need to see, are there any jailbreaks that can occur in these two radicals? So I'm going to prime factor 27 to 3 times 3 times 3. I'm going to prime factor 24 to 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Okay? Now I'm doing the prime factor pretty quick because I've been doing this for a long time, so you might still have to use a factor tree sometimes. Okay? And that's just the way of it. I would just do it on a scrap piece of paper and make sure you're circling your primes. Okay? All right, so in my first term, under the radical, there is a pair of 3's that can escape. What you have to be careful is there's already a 3 waiting outside, and then we also have a 3 escaping. And then we also have left behind a 3. Okay? Now let's check our other group, our other term. We have 4 on the outside, waiting around. A set of 2's can escape. Again, something horrible happens. There's eating and stuff like that happening. The 2 comes out. Okay? These 2 are not a pair, so they can't come out. They're stuck inside. Yeah. And so we have 2 times 3. Now we multiply what we can. So outside times outside, so that's 9 root 3. Plus 4 times 2 is 8 on the outside, 6 on the inside. Now we cannot combine root 3 and root 6. They're not the same. And so this is my simplified expression. There's nothing else I can do with this because this is a root 3 and that's a root 6. They're 2 different things. Am I still on your screen okay?
You what?
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm still on the screen.
Yeah, can't see anything past the 3rd row.
Oh, there. Is that better?
There.
Okay. Does that make sense?
And move it to your left.
Yeah.
Oh, to my left. There.
Okay. Boris, how's that?
That's good. Is number 5 is whole negative 2v square root 6 mine negative 3,154.
No.
31 over square root 54.
Whoa, let's look at this one. Let's look at number 5.
Yeah, because
All right. So number 5 is negative 2 root 6 minus 3 root 54 plus 3 root 5. Okay. Right away, I see there's nothing that can be combined right now. I have a root 6, I have a root 54, and I have a root 5. None of those can go together because we're adding. Okay? So that means I'm going to see if there's any jailbreaks that can occur. So I'm going to go, well, negative 2 and 6 can be prime factor of 2 times 3. We have a negative 3, and then root 54 is 9 times 6, right? Yeah, so that's 3 times 3 times 2 times 3. And then 5 is already prime, so I'm just going to leave that one alone for now. Are you okay so far? It's okay. All right, so in the first one, in the first term, nothing can come out of here. And so we just are left with negative 2 root 6. Okay? In the second term, we have an escape that can occur. And that's a set of 3's. Okay? Now there's already a 3 waiting outside. We have a negative 3 waiting outside. And then we have an escape occurring. So a 3 gets out. But left behind is that 2 times 3. So these 2 are left behind. And so that's a 6. Does that make sense so far? Okay. And then we have the 3 root 5. There's nothing I can do here. Now, if you turn this problem in, you'll get most of the points, but you won't get the final points because we actually have a 2 root 6, and then we have a negative 9 root 6. So I can stack and add that like I would like terms. And then I have a 3 root 5. And so when I add negative 2 and negative 9, I have negative 11 root 6's. And then that 3 root 5 wasn't helpful at all. It's just hanging out on the end the whole time. And so that's your final simplified expression. Do you understand, Boris? I can't tell from your expression because you freeze a lot. Okay.
I get it, but my problems are all messed up.
Do you know what you're doing wrong?
No, it's the questions that are wrong.
Oh.
It's like number 6 is 3 square root 3, negative 2 square root 2, and then negative 2 3.
Yeah, that's what I have for 6. Was your number 5 not the 303?
Huh?
Type it out for me so I can see what you're saying. For number 6, type out what yours says. I'm just gonna.
This is section 3, and I'll go check it out.
Yeah, it's section 3. Can you make sure I didn't? I had a mistake in there, and I'm hoping I just didn't screw it up.
I just printed section 3 out.
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing you have.
Okay, so something happened funky with yours, Boris. Oh, I know what happened. Boris, when did you print yours out?
What?
When did you print yours
I
out?
never printed it out. Yeah, I don't print it out.
Oh. So with section 3 the other day,
Somehow figured it out to put it on a document.
so section 3, I had the answers originally on there. Is that what's going on? That maybe you have the answers attached and you think that's a continuation of the problem?
I think that's section 2.
Oh, okay. Oh, really? I thought I fixed that. So type out, Boris, what yours number 6 looks like.